No one had expected the human to survive the summons. Elias Rourke stood at the center of the High Court of Phyrexia with oil-stained gloves still tucked into his belt and a faint smell of coolant clinging to his jacket. The chamber rose around him like the inside of a living cathedral, arched spines of bioluminescent crystal, walls pulsing with slow alien light, and a ceiling so high it disappeared into shadow. Hundreds of eyes followed him, some glowing, some compound, some hidden behind ceremonial masks. And then the laughter began. It started as a low ripple, a clicking amusement from the insectoid nobles, a hissed chuckle from the scaled warcasts, a soft harmonic hum of mockery from the ethereal delegates. A human mechanic, summoned before the Queen of Phyrexia. It was absurd. Elias swallowed and kept his hands steady at his sides. He had been fixing a broken atmospheric regulator in Dock 7 less than an hour ago when royal guards, six-legged sentinels plated in obsidian armor, had arrived without explanation. They hadn't shackled him, but their weapons had stayed trained on his chest the entire walk.
He had asked why.
They had not answered. At the far end of the chamber, elevated above all others, sat the queen. Queen Selthyra of Phyrexia did not move. She was taller than any being in the hall, her form draped in flowing layers of iridescent silk and living metal. Her skin shimmered like moonlight over water, her eyes dark and endless, as if they contained entire star fields. A circlet of ancient design rested upon her brow, the crown of a cord, symbol of 1,000 conquered systems held together not by force alone, but by law. She watched Elias in silence. The laughter grew louder. A noble stepped forward, his carapace gleaming gold. "Your Majesty," he said, bowing with exaggerated flourish, "surely this is a mistake. This human is unregistered, unmodified, and clearly a labor. He reeks of machine oil." Another voice joined in. "Perhaps the Queen requires entertainment." More laughter. Elias clenched his jaw. He had worked on alien ships for 6 years, merchant freighters, war cruisers, ancient relics held together by forgotten technology. He had earned respect in the docks. But here, among royalty and conquerors, he was nothing. Just a human. Silence. The word was soft. It echoed anyway. The laughter died instantly, as if reality itself had inhaled. Queen Selthyra rose from her throne. Every being in the court bowed. Even those who had mocked Elias moments before lowered themselves in submission. The queen descended the steps slowly, her gaze never leaving the human. Each step seemed to weigh centuries. When she reached the floor, she stopped only a few meters from him. Elias felt it then, the pressure. Not physical, but something deeper, like gravity pressing on his thoughts. "You are Elias Rourke," she said. Not a question. He blinked, startled. "Why, yes, Your Majesty." A murmur rippled through the court. Humans were rarely addressed by name in royal halls. "You repaired the Thyraxis war engine 3 cycles ago," the queen continued. "An engine our own engineers declared irreparable." "Yes," Elias said carefully. "It was inefficiently designed. No offense."
A few gasps followed that.
"And you stabilized the failing biocore of the Silver Convoy, without compensation." "They were refugees," Elias replied quietly. It felt wrong to charge them. The queen tilted her head, studying him as one might study an anomaly in space-time. "And yesterday," she said, "you repaired the ancient relay beneath this palace." Elias hesitated. I was told it was a routine job." "It was not," Selthyra said. Her eyes glowed faintly. "That relay is older than my throne. Its failure would have collapsed the planetary shield and exposed this world to solar death within 1 rotation." The court erupted, not with laughter this time, but shock. Elias's breath caught. I didn't know." You worked for 14 uninterrupted hours, the Queen said. You refused replacement crew. You ignored exhaustion protocols. You succeeded. She stepped closer.
Why?
Elias met her gaze, heart pounding. Because it was broken, he said simply. And if something's broken, you fix it. Silence followed. Not mocking. Not hostile. Reverent. A senior noble recovered first. Your Majesty, he said carefully. Even if this human performed a service, it does not warrant personal audience. The Queen raised one hand. He froze. You speak of warrants, she said calmly. Then hear this. She turned back to Elias. Long before your species reached the stars, Selthyra said, the first laws of Phyrexia were written. One law stands above all others. She gestured, and the chamber walls shimmered, revealing ancient symbols carved into reality itself. When one who is not bound by oath saves the throne by choice alone, she intoned, the throne must answer in kind. Whispers spread like wildfire. Elias felt cold. Your Majesty, I don't understand. You are not sworn to Phyrexia, the Queen said. You hold no allegiance. Yet you preserved this world without demand or reward. She straightened. By ancient law, you are owed a boon equal to the throne's survival. The nobles recoiled. A boon from the Queen could reshape star systems. Elias's mind raced. He thought of Earth's struggling colonies, of dockworkers living on ration credits, of endless repairs done for corporations that barely noticed him. He bowed awkwardly. If I may, he said. I don't need titles or riches. A few nobles scoffed. The Queen's expression softened, just slightly. What then do you seek? Elias took a breath. Protection, he said. For the humans who work your docks. Fair contracts. No indenture clauses. No disappearances. The court went still. No one had ever asked that. Selthyra studied him for a long moment. Then she smiled. It was not a gentle smile. It was the smile of a ruler who had just found something rare.
Granted, she said.
A pulse of energy swept the chamber. The symbols on the walls shifted, rewriting law itself. Elias sagged with relief. But the Queen was not finished.
There's more, she said.
The noble stiffened. You have invoked the first law, Selthyra continued. And in doing so, you have triggered its second clause. She stepped closer until Elias could feel the warmth of her presence. The one who saves the throne without oath may not be cast aside. Elias frowned. What does that mean? It means, the Queen said, her voice carrying across the chamber, that you now stand under my protection. Murmurs exploded. And, she added, that your fate is bound to mine. The nobles erupted in outrage. This is madness. A human cannot be bound to the throne. The law is symbolic. Selthyra turned, and the room froze again. The law is absolute, she said. Then she looked back at Elias. And it means, she finished softly, that you will remain here as my chosen consort. The silence that followed was deafening. Elias stared at her. You're what? My equal before the law, she clarified. My voice in matters of labor and industry. My partner in rebuilding what this empire has neglected. She paused. And my husband, by Phyrexian tradition. The court was in chaos. Some nobles protested. Others fled. A few watched Elias with dawning fear. Elias felt dizzy. Your Majesty, I'm just a mechanic. Selthyra leaned in, her eyes meeting his.
No, she said.
You are the man who fixed a broken empire without realizing it was broken.